The Stock of the Day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. With over 17,000 markets and extended trading hours, turn US earnings season volatility into opportunity. Get started at IG.com.
So our stock of the day is Mineral Resources. Chris Ellison, the Managing Director, may stay on longer than expected. The latest board update does not list him in the FY25 departure list. And the Fin Review reporting he may retain his position for longer than flagged to investors. This is despite acknowledging his participation in a tax evasion scheme for personal enrichment. And earlier UBS had said the general board overhaul was a positive. For MinRes, the broker rating the stock as neutral with a $26 price target. So what do our experts think? Shawn, let's start with you. Now, obviously trouble at the top in regards to Chris Ellison. Also, it has its exposure to iron ore and lithium. We all know where those commodity prices have gone. And then it had trouble, particularly with its Onslow Road project at the same time.
Yep, I think you've nailed all the headwinds there. It was one of the two we had billionaires behaving badly, as we called it, in one of our reports. We now own both of those stocks. We own Mineral Resources and we own WiseTech. So we feel that, and it's interesting to see the market today. I think you find the market's up today. It's turned around. It was down about 4 or 5% early on. I'm not quite sure exactly where it got to. It's now up on the day. So I think, and we feel at Market Matters that both WiseTech and Mineral Resources, much as nobody's very happy with what's happened there on the board level, they still respect and like the profile of the big CEOs or ex-CEOs that took the businesses to where they are today. So I think the Chris Ellison side of things, as the market's dismissing it, I don't think that's that important. If anything, it could be a positive. The roads are probably the biggest issue in the short term. They need to sort those roads out big time. I haven't been out there, but every time people go out there, you get a different reaction. The last couple of times it's been relatively positive.
Well, I think they just had they took the brokers out there just recently, didn't they? Yeah. I think it was largely, they gave it the thumbs up.
Exactly. Well, they're not going to take them out there if they think it's got, it's no good, are they?
True.
And then, iron ore, we've already both alluded to that we think down here it's starting to get some legs. Lithium still concerns me, mainly because, there's just so much out there. There's so many lithium situations now in mothballs that they all can come straight back out if required. So, to me, when you start valuing Mineral Resources, you almost regard the lithium component as bonus as opposed to intrinsic. So I regard Mineral Resources still here as a buy, but I'd call it a speculative buy. I wouldn't be, you wouldn't have the allocation you'd put into it as a fund manager would be lower than you might put into ANZ I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But I call it a buy.
And in regards to Chris Ellison, you're saying more of a positive than a liability at this point?
It is, as long as you're happy to hold on tight.
That's not reassuring, is it?
But I think it is. I mean, he's been there. He's done these things. He did create the company to what it was before.
Yep.
And he's done some questionable things on the journey, but his knowledge is still there. That I think the market's telling you today it quite likes. Well, the whole sector's turned around. To be fair, not just Mineral Resources, but it's not regarded. Him staying is not a big negative. Otherwise, the stock would still be down.
Yep. Okay. Jonathan, a lot of people have got this stock wrong, haven't they? So what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually had it on the technical analysis special. It was actually the worst performer for FY25, MinRes. MinRes was the worst and PLS was number 2. Now, I had a look at the short interest, which is what I mentioned in that previous show. So MinRes is the third most shorted stock on the ASX at 14.5% short interest. And Pilbara is number 4 at 13.4%. So basically, the shorters have got into the whole lithium sort of space in terms of shorting it, but I do think the bottom's in. The fact that we had some board news wasn't significant news, but the fact that Chris is going to stay on, the stock dropped. I think it was down 2% at the open roughly, and when I looked last, it's up 1%. So I think the bottom's in on that. In that case. I wouldn't go back up the truck though. I think it is going to be a very, very volatile stock, which is good for shorter term traders like myself, which I do like to buy. So at the moment, for investors that have had it for a very long time, I just say just hold on. Fresh money, I'd dip a toe in there, and I do think it's a buy. But keep your stops in because it will be volatile.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you mentioned the short exposure. Obviously, positions 1 or 2 are uranium miners. They've had a huge run of late, absolutely huge run. And I think some of these short positions are probably going to get a bit unsettled into Christmas.
Keep a watch on that then. So, can we call a specky buy? Because, I mean, that's how Shawn's looking at it. So
I'll
there is that risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, it is a specky buy from both on Mineral Resources, our stock of the day.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Turn volatility into opportunity this US earnings season with extended trading hours on over 110 key US shares. Get started at IG.com.